Welcome back, video creeps. Andy and Kyle are back, baby! Episode 6 of the Chucky TV show has dropped, and guys, it is like eating your favorite meal and then someone coming over and then bringing in your favorite dessert. This episode by far is my favorite, and we're going to talk about exactly why that is. But first, a quick reminder that this little Chucky series and me reviewing every episode is brought to you by the Discord Monster Fam. If you missed the Chucky TV show on Tuesday when it drops, every Wednesday this Discord and this community of people get together to watch Freddy's Nightmares, the Friday the 13th series, and then cap off the night with the brand new episode of Chucky. A link to that Discord is down below. And while you're moseying around, make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're new. Let's get into this thing. So like I mentioned before, this by far is my favorite episode of the whole season so far. We still have 2 more episodes left, and like, who knows, anything could happen from here. But at this point right now, wow, I was impressed. I was entertained. I was satiated. I got this feeling in my chest like an adolescent. Because as soon as that car pulls up and you kind of see that side profile, you know it's Andy, you know it's Kyle, and there's this great music that's playing. It's so cool to reintroduce these characters together on screen again. You see them walk around the car and they have like guns in tow. It's like a fucking mobster movie. And then finally seeing them together, there's a magic. When you see Alex Vincent and Christina Elise together, it just works. If you're like me and Child's Play 2 just happens to be the one in the franchise that has your heart, seeing this is something that we've wanted for so long, and the way that they gave it to us, it's just phenomenal. I think you would be hard-pressed to find anyone who just wasn't completely enthralled or had us in the palm of their hand when they watched that scene. There's this weird like Boondock Saints thing now where like they hunt Chuckies and like they're on the road together. It's so cool. Gotta love that census angle that they use to get into people's houses, and then like there's such a good team together, specifically when like Andy was kind of doing his Andy thing where he's like looking around, he's not caring about what's happening here, which is why Christine just balances him out so well. Ooh, I keep bouncing around between them really. Kyle keeps like, you know what I mean. There's something I just love about the development of Andy's character and how little he gives a fuck once he's like focused on what he needs to do. He really did. Like, he went to Kent military and he became like a little soldier, and like him talking about some of the things that he picked up, like why he kept that Chucky had, like it's really cool to see who Andy became. And though, yeah, we've spent some time with him before, like we really get to kind of get into his head. And you know that there's some reminiscent Child's Play 2 things in here on purpose. Like just seeing Christina Elise driving a car, it's like, I remember when she did that in Child's Play 2. Or even the fact that it's like raining afterwards. Like it's like that's from Child's Play 2. I remember that too. Don Mancini and this crew just know what we want, and they've been giving it to us left and right. And with this episode, I really got what I wanted. Which is incredible, because then we switch over to the Jake, Devin, Lexi storyline, and it's like, oh yeah, I like this too. They gave me something that I loved, and then they were like, we have to leave that, but like, here's this other thing that you love. And it's like, oh, Christmas again, yay! And then they start talking about Andy Barclay, so they're starting to merge these 2 storylines together. It's awesome. Then we go and we pick up with Mika and Tiffany. It feels like this should have been so busy and so like, where this is too much being thrown at me, but it really wasn't. This is an episode where all hands are on deck in a really fun way, and it is masterfully done in the best way possible. We got another flashback with Tiffany and how she gets her car, but what's really great about that flashback is we see a light teaser at what the next flashback will probably be when it comes to Charles Lee Ray's past. He's reading like a little voodoo book, which I was talking to my buddy Strange Monkey Reviews, who if you don't know, you should follow. I'll put his name down in the description of this video. But we were talking about it and saying like, well, what's the natural progression for what his memories should be? And we should see him link up with John. We should see how he gets into voodoo. So to see that this episode already has that foresight and they're kind of like putting in those little bricks for us to walk down that road, great, interesting, cool stuff. There's tons of great Easter eggs in this episode as well. Really easy to spot ones, like Tiffany pressing Mika to see if she's really Chucky by talking about the honeymoon that happened in Niagara Falls, which is a great callback to Bride of Chucky. But there's even more nuanced ones in there, like Mika and Tiffany playing poker together, like where Jennifer Tilly is like a world-renowned poker player. I love little touches like that. If you're a big fan of not only the show but of these actors, it's cool to see things like that infused into the show. Which, yo, my god, if we're gonna talk about Tiffany Valentine, I think in this single episode she was my favorite version of Tiffany that I've ever seen across the entire franchise. The Tiffany that we get in this episode has this weird, like, demented thing. Like, it almost feels like everything that this character has gone through has finally caught up to her. It's reminiscent of when we saw Baby in, like, 3 from Hell. And I like that. I like that kind of progression. It's the same thing that makes me love Andy Barclay's character now. He's so affected by everything. And it's cool to see that Tiffany has been affected too. If you look at the first version or instances that we got Tiffany, she definitely seems a little bit more grounded than the Tiffany that we see in this past episode. I really enjoyed that. I was so surprised by it, and I really loved her performance. Now we lose Junior's mother, Brie, after she confirms that she was sick. Kind of a sudden death, kind of sad to see her go, but I do wonder what this is going to do for Junior's character going forward, especially now that he has broken up with Lexi and that he told Jake to like just stay the fuck away from him. Like, I'm wondering if we're going to see a very loose cannon in Junior coming up soon, and that's going to cause some friction. Love the Home Alone ending-esque thing with like the Cape Fear like callbacks. That was all really nice. But yo, when we lose Devin's mother, I will not lie, it is the first death in the whole show that I emotionally felt bummed out about, which is nuts because I didn't realize how much I actually liked that character until I realized I would never see her again. It's almost like how in the beginning of the show we didn't like Lexi and it was like, I want her gone. Like, they did that with Devin's mom, and now I want her back. I think she was a super interesting character, and I love the fact that we got to see layers of that character through her private moments with Devin. Sorry, I had a fucking mind fart there. I just wasn't expecting it. But man, I loved this episode. This is, again, probably my favorite of the entire series so far. But I also know that we're gonna get a lot more Andy, a lot more Kyle, a lot more Nika, a lot more Tiffany, a lot more Jake, a lot more of all the things that we love about this show. Again, big love to Monster Fam for sponsoring this video. Again, their link is down below. And something that's coming up on Monster Fam that you may not know is that once the show is completely done, they will have a complete marathon where they play the first episode all the way to the last episode, just one day, and your boy will be there. So join the Discord now. For everyone else, please like the video, subscribe if you're new. If you want to support me, no pressure. I do have a Patreon down below. A couple bucks goes a long way. Until then, let me know what you thought about this episode and what you want to see moving forward. I will see you guys on the next video. Peace, video creeps. Some roses are red and some are blue, so please take a bunch here just for you. Besides, they were on sale 3 for 2. You're the kind that deserves a bouquet. You deserve a bouquet. You deserve a bouquet. Cause you're my Patreons, yeah, my Patreons. Look at the reviews of Kyoto, Larry Sherman, Corey Stewart, Car Wounded and Butcher's Grindhouse, for the X-Store, Michael Andrews, Premier, Survivors, Guild like Voorhees, No Adrienne, Leila, Little Lady Horror, Jessica Rabbit, Leela, Rachel Marie Prince, Giselle, Bittersweet Vegan as L. How can I tell you thank you all for being my Patreon?